Next, just to move it right along, next we have the business development at AI. Roope, you be on scale here, so I will just hand it over to you and let you take it away, good sir.
Yeah, thanks very much, and have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. So I said, hello everyone. My name is Rob. I'm from Silo AI. Talking a bit about the kind of it's AI, or kind of how do we see that? And actually, I think that it was the kind of the Amish's presentation earlier. I think like it was a good introduction also to the topic, kind of let's say covering AI from a wide perspective, from a different point of views. But actually, talk very briefly about the Silo AI. So we are a AI consultancy helping our customers to create the next generation of products and services that are elevated by AI. The kind of the idea actually for us has really been that AI is going to enable a lot of things. It's advancing extremely fast. What you know today is outdated tomorrow. So kind of therefore really kind of been focusing on figuring out like how can we really attract the best talent? How can we keep them on this continuous journey path, and tools having a kind of let's say a significant amount of the PhDs in our payroll, as kind of those guys have really demonstrated their passion for the continuous learning. We are based from the Nordics. I would say the kind of Finland, Sweden being our strongest markets, but then kind of continuously expanding. So the kind of the DACH region is coming more relevant. Just actually we'll be launching our offices in Vancouver and next actually in 2 weeks, and then kind of also continuing these activities over like what we have already in Palo Alto. Actually, like just another like a marketing message. We have been running kind of an annual report about the kind of what is the Nordic state of AI. It's been done in a collaboration with the various kind of academic institutions, governmental organizations, and so forth, to kind of to give a real life view on what is actually happening, where we are, where we are actually heading. It's available free of charge to download from our website, so silo.ai/Nordic state of AI. If you're interested, go and download it. There's a lot of good stuff. The kind of the couple of things actually what I want to be highlighting here, because I think like these are actually relevant for all of us in the field. We've seen kind of a lot of companies doing some nice experimentations. They have a data scientist, AI scientist who's kind of doing some cool tricks, or let's say like there are small pockets of different experts doing those, which I could say like is all good. But then, like as I was shown in the previous presentation, or kind of let's say the complexity of the MLOps, like how do you kind of really combine your data, your models, and your software, and run it into production gets pretty tough. So like I think kind of you need to be taking it seriously. There's already a significant amount of the companies who are really pushing it, and then kind of there are the ones who haven't really seen the light. Another kind of interesting thing was, let's say, that there's been a lot of, let's say, like AI first startups that kind of were founded during the last couple of years. Unfortunately, it's been a challenging market. They haven't been able to find the niche, have run out of the funding, and then kind of refocusing, reiterating kind of what is the thing in there, which kind of actually also gets to the third point over here. So let's say like it's that AI, the kind of a standalone Uber AI that doesn't exist, at least not yet. It's something that kind of can help you to make more intelligent products, more intelligent services. Well, I think, of course, the kind of open AI and chat GPT have been the kind of hot topics for the last 6 weeks. But then let's say like there has been very little kind of discussions about the OpenAI's successful business model. That will it actually exist or not? But then Microsoft paid a significant amount for that, and probably kind of thinking, okay, let's say like, can we make PowerPoint or Outlook or Word more intelligent? Could we then actually get our hundreds of millions of users to kind of to get more out of those tools, and maybe be willing to pay an extra euro per month and help on scaling? So like in a way, even with that, with the kind of amazing stuff that the OpenAI guys have been able to do, let's say still it seems to be making more sense as part of something else than a standalone, or that there's a large variety, for example, of different sales tools utilizing it to generate customized messages to the potential prospects. All right, then kind of well, as I was talking about the ChatGPT, but then kind of like in a way also reminding that it's actually amazing for the industry. It makes AI more approachable. Kind of every one of us, or the kind of less tech savvy people, can kind of go and try it, understand, wow, this is amazing. How is that possible? But actually, there's also a lot of advancements happening in the other fields, which are probably even more impactful for the kind of for the businesses, for the society, than the kind of the large language models could be. But then I think like for the most of the people, it's pretty hard to, for example, understand what does the kind of synthetic enzyme design mean, and therefore it might not be getting at much of attention. But I think like it's clear that it is happening elsewhere. The speed is kind of just continuously increasing. It's never going to be this slow as it is today. Tomorrow, the change is going to be faster. So kind of getting to the topic, like I was, like I said, the topic for the my presentation was the edge AI. So what actually do we need by edge? I think the kind of the world has been kind of strongly focusing on cloud. What can you kind of do with the unlimited resources that you have in AWS or Azure or GCP? But the kind of a lot of the real world examples, lot of the real world products don't have the cloud connection. You cannot be running the things in the cloud. There might be the security concerns, there might be the regulatory concerns, you might not have the connectivity, or multiple other reasons. Kind of, how can you actually bring the intelligence to the real world, to the physical products? Whether it could be kind of a oil field where you want to be optimizing something, whether it is a weather sensor or a medical device where you have only 8-bit microcontroller, or kind of let's say like what are the things what you have in the with the autonomous cars. So the kind of edge AI is all around us. It's going to become more and more important, but it's actually also more and more and more challenging. Because when you start thinking about it, you have a physical product with its limitations. How can you use the GPU, the memory? What sort of AI accelerators are needed? What do you actually do with the data? How do you collect the data? What data you transfer to somewhere else for the training purposes? What are you using locally? How do you optimize the software so that it's able to run all of these amazing AI models? And let's say how do you constantly then, based on your new learnings, then also operate it in a a safe, cost efficient manner? And as traditionally there's been teams. Okay, let's say those are our hardware guys, those are our software guys, those are our operations guys, and all have been having their own clear tasks, but it's getting a bit too complex for them to be doing it alone. So how can you really combine these cross skilled, cross capability teams who are then having the skill set on tackling these challenges? And basically, when we talking about the challenges, the first one is really the hardware. Yes, you could have more GPU power, you could have more memory, you could have more this and that. But actually, it gets expensive. You have the laws of physics. The more compute you need, the hotter the device gets, and might actually burn at some point. The other one is the the architectural challenge in scaling. It's expected that even the toothbrushes or drills or currently very dumb machines will be having multiple AI models in the future. There are going to be a lot of different, I think, physical products which will be having hundreds of models. And let's say, if you're having those hundreds of models, how do you then utilize the limited resources, going back to the hardware? Or how can you build a architecture where some things are pre-processed to be able to then utilized by the other models, so that you can get the entire thing on working. And then the going back okay, well, if I have million or 10 million or 100 million devices out there on this out there in the wild, how do I manage those with the latest versions? How do I tackle the different regulatory aspects, for example, for the medical devices? If I have a fine-tuned model, do I actually need to go through another FDA approval, or are there ways on streamlining that one? So in a way, there's a huge potential, but then on the other hand, there are still significant challenges that we are all facing. Actually, I was already talking about this. How do you really figure out, how do you build the shared logic that is able, or let's say, to make it easier for your different use cases to run efficiently? You just cannot run those in parallel. It's just physically impossible, and unfortunately we need to live with the a laws of physics. Or another example, what I'm having here is, let's say this is a work that we are doing with a industrial camera manufacturer. If you think that you have a product that is going to have a 20-year life cycle, and let's say, going back to the ChatGPT example, how many of you thought 6 months ago on what this let's say these sort of large language models are capable of doing? And then let's say, if you think that the speed is only going to get quicker and quicker, So what is actually going to be possible in 10 years time? We have no idea. But then if our products are there for the 10, 15 years, our customers' business case depends on being able to use that. How do we then actually start building the hardware architecture to be able to support those unknown future use cases, but probably which are going to be extremely important for the products, because well, also like it's we are moving more towards the kind of a subscription-based models. Maybe those new AI models are something that you are planning to charge your customers for, and not just the product sales. But if the hardware doesn't support it, then it's a bit challenging. So like in a way, there's a huge potential, but still a lot of things to be figuring out. But therefore, I think it's also really interesting place to be, and I think it's really interesting to kind of also have these communities where we can kind of share the knowledge, share the insights, help each other on solving this. So well, thanks very much, and yeah, well, looking forward on answering some of the questions in the Q&A session.